Eugene. I'm here tonight. We all wear a lot of hats, and I'm here wearing a couple of them, and not a dunce cap, but a number of hats. And I wanted to speak first as a father whose son is involved in Genius Garage. And I won't forget when Ryan called to talk about applying for Genius Garage. And mine and my wife's reaction, because we had a hard time understanding what exactly he's talking about. Are you building like race cars? Are you building like a Pinewood Derby type thing? And there was a groping process over probably more than one phone call to understand that we're talking about a real live race team. Ryan's experience is in Forza on Xbox in the racing world, and he's got a keen interest in the design of cars. We as a family are mechanically inept, so it was an interesting choice for him to pursue this.
And that's why we made him the crew chief.
That's right. That's right. We'll pants the mic and the dunce cap down the line as we go. But what happened next, I think, was very exciting. Every time we talked to Ryan when he called home, when he wasn't texting us, and we made him call home from time to time, all he talked about was Genius Garage. And in hindsight, looking back, I don't really know what happened to him the second half of his sophomore year at Toledo. I really don't know. Because all we talked about was Genius Garage and what was going on and becoming crew chief and this excitement about racing. And my wife and I were interested enough that we came up here for the open house that we had, I think, was our first experience to actually see the cars, meet Casey, meet Chuck, meet the other team members. And then we also found our way out to Mid-Ohio this summer. And it was about 112 degrees, I think. And the Beagle family felt like we might have been the bad luck charms because we'd seen a whopping, I think, 4 laps before Casey went out in a blaze of glory into some pit.
It was an entertaining day. Michael was there too.
Yeah, but what we saw there, I thought, is really the essence of why we as parents are so excited about Genius Garage. We watched these young men, this team, function, as a team. They were exhibiting leadership skills. They had a crisis on their hands as the bumper fell off and was filled with dirt, and they were due to race in 24 hours. And what do you do about that? We watched them exhibit, again, leadership skills, a team working together, a team that didn't get to pick their own members, which we all know as grown-ups. That's this isn't the backyard softball anymore. You're going to get assigned coworkers, some of which you like, some you don't like, some who do stuff, some who don't. And so to see a team functioning together, leadership skills evolve, critical thinking skills evolve, to solve problems in kind of a crisis situation was a lot of fun to talk about on the way home, especially with the air conditioning running. So we were really excited about that. Another thing that we noticed is that it exposed the team to some risk takers. And I'm not just referring to the crazy driver and the risky driving and that the risk to life and limb. You're talking about the entrepreneurial spirit of starting something from nothing, whether you're talking about Central Classic or Genius Garage, starting something from nothing and taking that risk and watching it come to full fruition. And that's something, and my wife owns a business, I own a business, is something that we deeply appreciate, that risk-taking nature. Putting on my Senate hat, I do a number of things in the Ohio Senate, despite our reputation. We actually do some stuff. I chair the Senate's Workforce and Economic Development Committee. I also sit on the Ohio Third Frontier Board for the Ohio Senate. So we are deeply engaged, I am deeply engaged on behalf of the Senate with Ohio's entrepreneurial ecosystem. We work hard in Columbus to take some of your taxpayer-approved dollars and put it to work locally through groups like Rocket Venture and through the Entrepreneurial Signature Program, trying to reach out to entrepreneurs. You don't see a big government program on our part. We see funds flowing through to local jurisdictions and the University of Toledo and others to deploy right here in your community, and with the help of Startup Toledo and organizations like it, to get this, all of these forces aligned to encourage entrepreneurship in Ohio. We see our future in small business, we see our future in risk-taking, and that's where the jobs are going to come from. And we want to encourage that as all we can so that folks like these guys and future teams want to find jobs right here in Ohio and stay in Ohio. I'm sure Ryan, I don't know if he wants to stay in Ohio or not, and against all my better judgment, I'm going to hand the microphone to him here in a moment and give him the last word. But bringing it back around to Genius Garage, You know, in my work in the Senate, we talk to a lot of businesses, a lot of business owners, and they struggle to find workers. They struggle to find people who can think critically, who can work hard, who can work in teams, who have some of the STEM skills they need. We hear that all the time. And, you know, Genius Garage gives these guys an opportunity to develop and use all of those skills. And so as a parent, I'm excited to see that, you know, my son's resume and the resume of these teams are going to have some real work experience in there, and something that employers can really sink their teeth into and put some trust in. Hiring anybody is a risky venture. It's a roll of the dice at the end of the day. So to the extent that you can demonstrate some real world skills, some real world abilities, you become a much safer chance for some company to hire someday. And we want you to stay right here in Ohio. We want you to have these opportunities. And we love to see the fact that you've got education applied through Genius Garage. It's not just books, it's not just theory. You actually are out there applying things, and that's what makes this program so unique, and something that as parents and as a senator who does workforce development and Third Frontier, we're very excited about this program and all that it brings to Ohio. So thank you for your guys taking a risk and for developing this team, and we look forward to a great future and you know, and better teams coming down the road. I shouldn't say better teams, additional teams coming down the road. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand the microphone again to Ryan. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much. I mean, I know it's a long trip from Dayton's, and you got to go back tonight, so thank you for coming up. That means a lot to me.
It was very nice.
What construction?
Anyway, and also thank you, Gene. I know this is a ton of work. You know, you thank them for putting it on, but you yourself have put in a ton of time and effort, and I think on behalf of everyone, we owe you a round of applause for taking your time to put this together as well. You know, he touched on a lot about becoming my own and learning a lot about myself in Genius Garage, and I think that that's the core concept of what this program is about. You know, it's a race team. We go out and do awesome things with some great cars and some great people. But it's about discovering your own work ethic, meeting people, learning how to talk and work in stressful situations. It gives you opportunities that you'd never have on your own. And none of this would be possible without the support of others who fund the charity and things like that. And it's events like tonight that is one of the things that you don't get to do in this program. And this is something that boosts our resume and gives us all a chance when we're applying for jobs. And when we all go out to the career fair, our names will stick out in someone's head because of a program like this. And it's because of people like Casey who takes risks on us that allow others to take risks on us and let us start our own companies, work for someone, and make a name for ourselves like our parents have. And it's great to see people caring about the young people in the community and the students here. And Ohio itself, I mean, a couple years ago, Ohio wasn't doing well. Our nation wasn't doing well economically. And we're seeing a turnaround now. People are looking for jobs. And as he said, people are desperate for students coming out in STEM communities. And opportunities like this really give us the chance to show who we are and something aside from tests. Because not everyone can take a test. Not everyone's good at studying. And your GPA isn't reflective of how hard you work or what you know or how you can apply yourself. And opportunities like this give employers the chance to see that. And it's with that I'll hand it off to Casey. You know, that was my perspective as a student, and I look forward to hearing what he has to say about running the whole program.
When are you running for the legislature?
Luckily for you, never, anytime.
Yeah, right. Where do I begin with all that? Well, first of all, I've only been here a short time. Of course, brought the Genius Garage program and came on to Central Classic Cars. My background, I went to Ohio State University, but my professional background relates to the automotive world in a large aspect. Of course, racing and performance, driving, engineering, design, restoration, marketing, and I love cars. So the opportunity here in the Toledo area to come to Central Classic Cars and make that bigger and better was one I took. It's also nice to work with family and make that happen too. But also a wonderful opportunity to bring Genius Garage up here too. Central Classic Cars, in fact, donates the space for that program to happen. Where do I even go from this lead up with regard to that? I guess it comes.
Your thoughts on Genius Garage, your sort of mission or mandate of Genius Garage in 140 characters or less.
Tweet it.
Well, you said what it was, but I'll say it from the heart as to why I did it. And I hated school. I hated it. The reason being is, you know, it works well, it does what it does, but it's very institutionalized, but that's not how the whole world works. I knew what I was capable of, I knew what I could design, I knew I could build, I knew how far I could go, I knew how fast I could run. But you can't necessarily do that in school, and there's many students that can't do that. So come graduation time, you know, the fact of the matter of the world is, no matter how good your grades are, no matter what you do in school, you still need something more. And people say it's who you know, or what your resources are. And I hated that. And for many years after school, I fought and fought and fought to build and do and learn and compete and everything I could do. And I also hated that too, because I knew I could be much further if I had the opportunity, but I didn't. I had to fight. So a few years back, the idea came to me that after all this fighting and building, the resources, the connections, these incredible people that I've met, and things that I've learned, well, I go racing. So instead of just doing that on my own, why don't I find these bright and driven, incredible young people that want to do something big and say, come on, we'll do it together. We're going to do the biggest thing. We're going to take on the world. I'm going to introduce you to all the most amazing people I've ever met, and I'm going to fight for you. Because for anybody, young, old, whatever, it's braggadocious to say, I can do this, or arrogant. But if somebody fights for you to give you the opportunity, it's no longer that. And that's what I could do for young people, and that's how the Genius Garage concept was born. This is the third season. The first two were in Columbus. Most of the students came from Ohio State and the like. Obviously, the opportunity to come here with Genius Garage as well as be part of Central Classic Cars was a great fit. And with Toledo. And on that note, of course, came from Columbus, and here I'm in a new community. One that I was unsure of. I really didn't know Toledo that well. But I have been more than pleasantly surprised and quite frankly blown away. And first of all, Toledo has a lot of wonderful resources, but its best resources, and this is not PC anything, this is my honest experience, are the people. The attitude in Toledo is there are people that are hungry to make something, to make the community better, to work together. Right now in the crowd, there's so many people that I met from Toledo and whatnot to be awesome. First of all, my fiance Taylor Wilson, a board of directors, could not have made Genius Garage without her. Scott Johnston, foot surgeon and such, but a soon board of directors, Genius Garage, loves what's going on, everything like that, Toledo area. Where do I even begin? Jonathan in the back, V Collection, men's very fashionable, awesome place, and Kevin, the Barber Lounge, menswear, that sort of thing. Next week, Genius Garage is doing a great event there. It's where they're going to give them great advice on how to dress, how to look good for the future, how to take care of themselves. We're going to have fun. We're going to go to Element 112, dinner there. Beyond that, another aspect of Genius Garage are the mentors, incredible people that come in. So for instance, a great one, Michael Murray here, local guy, cares a lot about young people, big car enthusiast, ex-racer, real estate, etc. Has been great with the students. Chris Anderson, big shout out, has been very nice in working with me with some of the polishing of the Genius Garage model and helping it go great places. Gene, I love this guy. He's the only person I've met that's a bigger ham than me. And we did the video and I was like, oh God, what have I done? Andrew, please make sure I still have a career after this. But Startup Toledo's awesome.
You were nervous, weren't you? You were very
A little bit afterward.
He was texting us on the
Because
weekend. He's like,
comedy is fun, but let's be honest, America can't deal with comedy in a lot of ways. So it's like, what did I say? What do we do? Are goggles okay? I don't know. But I love Startup Toledo. Also, the other co-founder, thank you. This is awesome. If this was in Columbus, maybe I wouldn't have moved, but you're here, so I'm here. I like it. Students are obviously here. You can see they're dressed alike. Beyond that, there's one from last year. Clint, you're hiding. I see you from Ohio State. What's your, where did you come from today? Your big internship up north?
So Genius Garage pretty much is the reason I got an internship at Fiat Chrysler this summer. So
Yes.
it works.
And Zach from last year was at Fiat Chrysler in Irvine, California. And you came back down. And Clint's also the one that wrote the best paper last year. So we sent him to Germany to the Nürburgring, a crew of Vintage Alfa Romeo. That was pretty good, right?
That was a pretty good time.
And then Garrett and Ryan won this year and went to the concourse. So anyway, Genius Garage, I'm very passionate about it. Please check it out. Last but not least, if you're not into racing, I don't want to like oversell this or undersell this, but it's a really big deal. That's a Champ car from '97. It's still faster than a new Indy car is now. And the college students are doing that. They're doing higher level stuff than modern race teams are. That's a Le Mans prototype. Literally next year, we could send that and all the students to France to race in the Classic 24 Hours of Le Mans, and quite frankly, planning on doing the Classic 24 Hours of Daytona with the students at the end of next year, and another car for them to build. And this winter, we're going to kick off a high school program. There's going to be a huge, giant slot car track in there, and the students with the CNC machine, a wind tunnel, everything, are going to design their own cars and race against each other in scale in there and do all the same things. So for the high school students, that'll help get them on their careers, their jobs, their academics in colleges, their schooling, get in that, as the same way the racing program for college students kickstarts their career and gets them awesome jobs. So that's the deal. We'll ask questions and buy raffle tickets. Spend too much money, spend stupid money. Do it. I will take you for rides. It's going to be fun. We'll wear goggles. We're going to drive around in these. We'll do it another time. So do it. Square, credit cards, change, gold bullion, doubloons. Do that. Central Classic Cars.
Right there.
These fine ladies, right there.
The lovely Kelly and the lovely Taylor will help you with your purchase.
And the money goes directly to Genius Garage, nonprofit 501c3.
How do I follow this? You know, all we do is buy and sell cars and fix things. You know,
They're pretty.
yeah. But I have to tell you, obviously he's my son, but I'm amazingly proud of what he's accomplished. And sometimes I don't know that he really appreciates what I really feel. And no, it's true. He is the perfect person for this program. And I know I'm supposed to be talking about this, and I'll get to it in a minute. But he's the perfect person for the program. He works with the guys beautifully. He's driven. He's amazingly driven. We butt heads occasionally. And so, and that, I guess that's okay. But, you know, it's the type of thing where, as he said, if he had something like this, he may not be doing this today. He may be doing something else. So maybe this is what he's meant to do, and help people out and grow it and make it amazing. It's not often. Getting back a little bit, and I won't go long in this, I was a PGA golf professional, not on the tour, I was a club professional, and when you get out of college and you're trying to get your first assistant job, nobody wants to hire you because you don't have any experience. And it's really hard, and it's a very competitive field. And so something like this, like Clint, I mean, it's just amazing what this program can do for the kids. And the city of Toledo should be thrilled to have this kind of a program here, because it's the only one like it in the country that we know about.
in the world.
It just doesn't exist. All right, so. So anyway.
Hot cars.
Central Classic Cars existed for about 5 years. This was a plumbing, that was a dry, just a dry storage. They put pipes in there. It was more plumbing, if you know about this area. So it was nothing. So we started it from absolutely nothing. The first year it was just me in that building doing whatever it is I did.
Listening
you know?
to Doobie Brothers and Wrench.
Listen to the Doobie Brothers, and you know, it's pretty good. And just doing whatever I did. So build it to what you see it now. You know, it's a struggle. I mean, we know how small business is a struggle, and it continues to be. So we've kind of gone directions, and we're finally, I think, finding a good way. You know, we were trying to do too much for too many people, and so now we're just specializing in European and classic cars, and not doing much American at all, just doing all the European things. We kind of like that anyway.
You like Vipers.
And they catch fire though. And anyway, so you know, so we've done that. I think we're really have something to offer the people in the area for servicing the European cars. There just isn't anybody around like what we do, really. You know, if you even look at the state of Ohio, there's just not too many people that do this kind of thing. So it's a really great business. I meet a lot of great people. I mean,
National and international people coming into Toledo because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
your money here.
Absolutely. And being able to enjoy these wonderful cars. I mean, you know, I've got a couple things of my own, but I mean, I get a chance to play with everything. So how good is that?
Especially when it breaks down and we have to fix it for the client, and you're the one.
There you
waiting
go.
on this
Yeah,
side.
yeah. So neat business. We try really hard on everything we do, and try to put out a wonderful product. I think we're good for the area. We own this whole strip of buildings. Really brought it up a lot, so that's going to help the area. So, you know, enjoy tonight. Enjoy the rides.
Eat, drink.
I can't tell you enough how wonderful he is. So